Okay, about a verse from Surah Hud. وهو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام وكان عرشه على الماء ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا.
Yes.
ما معنى كان عرشه على الماء؟
Right. You see, عرشه على الماء means Arsh is bina. You know, the central, pivotal purpose of creation. What was the final image? What was the purpose and plan of God? It all depended on water. Why? Because Jalna mil mai kulla shayn hai. Because life was the purpose. Without creation of life, the design of the whole world and its picture, its tasveer, which God had in his consciousness, that was meaningless. So before man was created, before life was created, yet God knew that his purpose will only be fulfilled with the employment of water in the scheme of things. So this water it is which gave life, which evolved life, which was responsible for the creation of man, which was responsible ultimately for Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And the same Ma became a symbol of spiritual food and means of quenching our spiritual thirst, which downpours from heaven. So all the heavenly water which is poured from heaven is also the life-giving water. So water and life, they go together like this. So Kana Arshuhu al-Mai doesn't mean that God was a body sitting on water. On what was water sitting? You see, this is the question. Those who overmuch materialize these views, they should remember that if God was sitting like a bird sitting and swimming on water, then on what was water sitting? Was he holding it with one hand and sitting it on from the other side? It's unthinkable. It's so stupid to conceive such an idea. It only means Arsh is a kursi as well as Arsh, on which he depended for the purpose of his creation. Water took the major part in perfecting the design of his creation. That is the mean Kana Arsh wal Ma. So that is why Hazrat Aqdas Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's heart is also Arsh. Because God created him to fulfill the purpose of creation. And it was on the heart of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that he manifested himself like he did not manifest on anything else. It's not just rhetorics or hyperboles we are saying in praise of Allah, Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is a reality. Whoever is the most final and the most perfect prophet, he can only be considered as perfect in the sense that he visualized God, or God made himself appear before him like he did to no other person before. What manifestation of God was reserved for Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was not reserved for Moses, nor could he see that God. But on the heart of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah he descended full. So in that sense his heart was also Arsh. Not that he was sitting on it, but he made himself manifested. So these are the different meanings of Arsh. There are other meanings as well. On the issue of Arsh I have spoken in my khutbah in detail. And if they are replayed, and they will be replayed inshallah, then she will fully understand the meaning of Arsh, and particularly in relation to God and the prophets of Allah. When you say Arsh in this physical sense, then means that God sits on it. Only then the image of Arsh becomes perfect, clear. So God is not anything which can sit on things. Everything is held by God. It is clearly shown in the Holy Quran. There is nothing on which God leans to seek support. Everything is supported by Him. So Arsh, must be remembered, is also, Kursi is also translated as Arsh. Kursi hu samawati wal ard. So Arsh or Kursi literally mean anything on which a king or a great person sits and reclines like this. So it cannot be taken to mean literally, cannot be taken to literally to apply in relation to God. It's impossible. The moment you do it, you will destroy the image of God. God is not a physical thing. He can't lean on anything. He supports everything else. So that is what I meant was, Kana Arshu al-Ma, if it is translated literally, that he had some kursi or some great throne which was floating on the Ma. What purpose? Why was it a throne of God if he didn't sit on it? So if he sat on it, who was supporting the water from below? Was God holding it from underneath and sitting on the same? It's all absurd, childish idea which people attribute to the most wonderful word of the Holy Quran. It is a highly respectable word. It should be translated in accordance with its greatness and in accordance with it being a divine word, not an ordinary word. So that is why I explained that. Arsh, please forgive me the interference.
Yeah.
But please, right.
I have just a comment, it's my comment about this, that some people say about the angels that they are the ones who are carrying the Arsh.
That is exactly what I have mentioned in my khutbah. If you read the Fasir of the medieval ages, you will be absolutely astounded to see that their image of the universe is so childish, even less than childish, that one can't understand how they started commenting on the verses of God with that concept of the universe in their minds. About Arsh, I quoted many tafasir which say that the Arsh of God is held by some angels who are so tall that their heads are jutting out of the Arsh. They think it's a flat table like this, flat surface. And they are holding the pillars of the Arsh like this. Like some people lift the janaza, have you seen that? So they do it, and they must be very strong to carry the weight of God, So they say, yes, they're very tall, very powerful things. And their feet are embedded deep into the earth. And they reach the very depth of the earth. And they don't know that the earth is round, and they should have jutted out on the other side. So such are the huge angels. They carry 8 of them, not 4 this time. They carry the Arsh of God on their shoulders like this. And Allah sits over that Arsh. Now they raise the question, what will happen to them? Will they die one day or not? So when they come to this, they say yes, they will also die, but after everything else has died. So they say even Israel will die in the end. God will tell him to kill everything, even these angels. And then in the end, Israel will be left and Allah will say, now it's your turn. Like he did according to them, to the Israelites. So then Israel would say, oh God, after all. And the question is, who will be holding his Arsh then? All the angels will be dead. Won't the Arsh drop? So these ideas are extremely stupid. They don't relate the verses with the author. The author is God. If God is the author of these verses, then they have to be understood in depth with all the wisdom packed into them. unfortunately, this is what they do to the Quran. That is why the Mustashriqeen, the West Orientalists, they laugh at Islam while they should have laughed at them, of the commentators not on Islam. Please.
لقد
Having tafasir, I'm telling you for this.
وهذا ما ذكر في التفاسير كما
Allah
قال
will tell
حضرتك.
Israel to kill everybody, and when he will be finished, then he will be looking up, now it's your turn. Die. And that way famine he will be alone. Who will be holding his Arsh?
الآيات.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He's getting impatient, we have taken 4-5 minutes more. Assalamu alaikum.